Hi, Assalamualaikum. I am Intan Ain Farisha, fourth year student from University Malaysia Kelantan. So today I would like to present about the social cultural issues, which is doing business in Malaysia, Malaysian social and business culture. Since the beginning of its history, Malaysia has been a meeting place for a diverse range of external cultures and religions. As a result of these external influences, a new unified but distinguishes Malay culture has emerged. Contemporary Malaysia represents a unique fusion of Malay, Chinese, and Indian traditions, creating a pluralistic and multicultural nation that has its character strongly rooted in social harmony, religion, and present its ancestral background with such a rich cultural heritage. Acquiring the relevant skills and cultural knowledge in order to conduct business in Malaysia is crucial to your success. Working practice in Malaysia. Number one, when scheduling business meetings in Malaysia, one must take into consideration the importance of prayer times in this predominantly Muslim country. Fridays are a particularly religious day of the week, and if possible, meetings should not be scheduled for this time. Number two, attitude to punctually varies according to which nationality you are doing business with. The Chinese, for example, expect punctually, whereas both ethnic Malays and Indians business people have a more relaxed attitude towards time. As a general rule, you will be expected to be punctual. Therefore, it is advised to arrive to business appointments on time. Number 3, if your business in Malaysia requires interaction with Malaysian government officials, ensure that all communication takes place in the language of Bahasa Malaysia. The majority of transaction and correspondence with Malaysian companies, however, will be generally be conducted in English. Structure and hierarchy in Malaysian companies. Number 1, regardless of the size or nature of the company, hierarchy is an integral part of Malaysian business culture. Malaysian companies generally follow a vertical hierarchical structure where authority is directed from the top. Number 2, in keeping with Malaysian culture, titles and job descriptions play a significant part in many Malaysian companies. They are important for employees in order to emphasize the line of authority within the business. Working relationships in Malaysia. Malaysians' respect for authority is evident in most business dealings. This relationship between subordinates and their superiors, for example, is distinct and highly official. Malaysians do not address their bosses by their first name but use titles such as Mr. and Madam followed by their honorific form of address. Relationships between Malaysian business colleagues are based on mutual respect, such as the same procedure used when addressing their superiors is also applied with their Malaysian business colleagues. Business practice in Malaysia. Number 1, when meeting your Malaysian counterparts for the first time, a firm handshake is the standard form of greeting. However, you should only shake hands with a Malaysian businesswoman if she initiates the gesture. Otherwise, a nod or a single bow is appropriate. Number two, with such an array of cultures in Malaysia, addressing Malaysian properly can be difficult. It is advised to find out in advance how you should address the person you are to meet. Generally speaking, a Malay's first name is individually Alwan, while the second and third name indicate those of the father and the grandfather. In some cases, the words Bain for son or Binti for daughter can be added after the given name. Number three, gifts are not usually exchanged as they may be perceived as a bribe. However, in the event that you are presented with a gift, it is customary to accept it with both hands and wait until you have left your Malaysian colleagues before opening it. Be sure to reciprocate with a gift of equal value in order to avoid loss of face. Last but not least, business cards are customarily exchanged after an initial introduction in Malaysia. Since a large proportion of Malaysian business people are Chinese, it will be useful if your card is printed in both English and Chinese and that details of your education, professional qualifications, and business title are included. Card should be presented and received with both hands, and time should always be spent examining the information before placing it on the table or in a briefcase. Firstly, do be patient with your Malaysian counterparts during business negotiations. The process is often a long and detailed one that should not be hastened. Next, do remain polite and demonstrate good ethic at all times. Elderly Malaysian business people, for example, should be treated with respect and always acknowledged before younger members of the organization. This is an essential part of achieving successful business dealings in Malaysia. Last, do take time to establish productive business relationships with your Malaysian colleagues. Initial meetings are generally oriented towards developing such relationships and will be maintained throughout and beyond the negotiations. Without them, your business plans may be fruitless. For don't assume that a signed contract signifies a final agreement. It is common for negotiations to continue after a contract has been signed. Number two, don't be surprised if your Malaysian counterparts ask what you may consider to be personal questions. In Malaysia, asking people about their weight, income, and marital status, for example, is not uncommon and is viewed as an acceptable approach to initial conversations. Last but not least, don't enter into business with a Malaysian company without a letter of introduction from a bank or mutual acquaintance. This will help your request for a future meeting, as Malaysians prefer to conduct business with those they are familiar with. So I guess that's all from me. Thank you.